Well, guys, I promised to do some more videos, and one of the ones I was going to talk about was my trip in Vietnam. Great country. First time I've actually stayed over in Vietnam. I stayed in Hanoi, Da Nang, and Hoi An. I didn't stay over in Ho Chi Minh. I just used that as a port of getting back to Bangkok. But I arrived in Hanoi and I was staying in the Old Town area. Absolutely phenomenal place to stay. Very electric, a lot of atmosphere. You're down by the lake, a lot going on, and most nights they actually close off the traffic so you can walk about, although you have to be very, very careful of the motorbikes because they're just absolutely everywhere, even when the road's closed. But there's a pub street, as they call it, or bar street. A great atmosphere in there, a lot going on, a lot of bars, a lot of people in them, a lot of people having a good time. Restaurants, loads. You can take your pick of restaurants in Hanoi. Absolutely amazing the amount of food that you can eat there, and at very, very reasonable prices. Most dishes are round about $3 to $5, so very reasonable. And beers roughly $1 to $1.50. So again, very, very reasonable. And that's in the main district. That's not just up the side streets. That's in most places. A fantastic place. Really enjoyed it. Da Nang, always wanted to go there. First place that the American soldiers landed for the Vietnamese War. Went down to Da Nang Beach to see that area. It is beautiful. Miles and miles of golden sand. The water is so clear. It's great. They say that they've made their street plan based on Miami in Florida. You can see that. A lot of sort of 1930s style buildings, even although they're fairly modern. But again, incredible place. A little bit more expensive in Da Nang, round about the beach area, than it was in Hanoi, but absolutely fantastic place. Hotels incredibly cheap in Da Nang. Only paid £19 a night to stay in a really nice hotel with a little swimming pool. Wonderful people that owned it. Hoi An, amazing place. Very historical. You can see it survived the Vietnam War. It's got the old teak and mahogany wooden buildings. Just stunning place. Highly recommend it to go and see what the place is like. Fantastic. What I would guard against though is I took the night bus from Hanoi down to Da Nang, 12 hours in a bus. I was in one of the buses that was 3 rows, single beds, very cramped, not a lot of space, and I made the fatal error of having a top bunk. I thought about the road up there, not good. You just couldn't get up and down that easily without disturbing the person who was below you. Uh, Multiple stops as well. They were picking up freight, some cargo on the bus and dropping it off. So there was a lot of start stop, a lot of start stop. The roads were okay in general, but you still get the rumble of the wheels. It wasn't a great night bus. I've done them before, and I've actually done a day. I'll talk about that when I talk about Cambodia. I did a day bus, and the difference was night and day. Literally, difference was night and day. I was going to take the night bus from Hoi An down into Ho Chi Minh City, but I just decided against that and I flew for Da Nang Airport. It was very cheap to fly. I think it was only about 40 quid, something like that to fly, £40. The night bus would have been about 27, so it wasn't that much more expensive. Okay, the night bus means that you don't have accommodation to pay for, but honestly, it was worth it just to get down to Ho Chi Minh City quickly rather than take the night bus. What I can say about Vietnam, the pluses: people are nice, really nice people. It's very good value for money. I don't want to use the word cheap because that kind of cheapens the experience, but what I would say is that it is very reasonably priced, good value for money, fantastic selection of food, and a good selection of drinks as well. The local drinks are very, very, very reasonably priced. If you go for more of the Western brands, they're a wee bit more expensive, but the local stuff isn't that expensive at all. Like I said, service is incredible. Everybody wants you to come into their place to eat or drink. Sometimes it got a little bit hassle because you were getting people grabbing your arms to ask you to come in. It was the one thing that I didn't like about Hanoi. Didn't happen in Da Nang, didn't happen in Hoi An. People in Hoi An were chatting to you to try to get you go in, but didn't grab you like they did in Hanoi. Da Nang, nobody bothered me at all. You could walk about the streets, nobody bothered you at all to come into their establishment. You could go in as you pleased. What I would say is take some US dollars, the light US dollars. Their own dong is hundreds of thousands and millions a dong to the British pound and to the US dollar. Take US dollars, I do like them. And my big tip is book a taxi online to pick you up at the airport. I went to the airport in Hanoi twice. The first time I got scammed. The boy told me it was a taxi with a meter. When I got in, it wasn't. He was way overcharged me. I paid him what I thought I should pay him and told him if he wasn't happy we could get a policeman in to discuss it. And he just went away, the felly, and left me. So he got what I thought I should be paying him. And when I booked the taxi from the airport, it was 16 US dollars. And on the way back to the airport, I actually went and grabbed it, and I got it for about $8 US, something like that, $8-9 US. So again, it was very cheap going back, but it was great coming in. Lad was standing where he was supposed to stand with my name on a bit of paper. We were at opposite ends of a pillar, so it was a bit of a laugh. I had to contact him and say, I can't see you. And it was a bit like a Monty Python sketch. We're both walking around the pillar, missing each other, but we eventually bumped into each other. And he was great, got into the city, no problem at all. It was really good. So that's my big tip, is book a taxi from the airport. $16 was the going rate. I don't think that's a lot of money because you're in the taxi for about 45 minutes. So very, very good value for money. And then going back to the airport and grab $8 US. My goodness, it's a steal, absolute bargain. The other bargain that I got was the taxi back to Da Nang airport from Da Nang city. It's not far, it's just on the outskirts of the city. It takes 15 minutes, if that. But it was about $2 US for that taxi. Again, very reasonable. But Vietnam, I would highly recommend it to anybody. Phenomenal country, brilliant people. One thing is it's a very long country, so when you're travelling down, if you're not flying, you do notice it because it's a very, very long country. It is big, but again, the people are nice. The roads are quite good, but like I said, the night bus was a bit of a challenge. Maybe that's just me. There was a lot of younger people on it who were experiencing it and didn't seem to bother. Maybe it's just something for me, but I'll tell you what, I would definitely go back. Definitely recommend Hanoi. Definitely recommend Da Nang, and definitely recommend Hoi An. I would go back for longer so that I could do other things like Ha Long Bay, which I never got to do. The Bana Hills, I would love to do them as well. So I would go back and do all that stuff. But yeah, great country. Highly recommend it. Eating out, as I said, a lot of people say go and eat here, go and eat there. Go and experience it yourself because everything's so well priced. You can eat in a different place every night and get a different experience. You can go to a different restaurant, you can get the different atmosphere. Everything sort of migrates to that bar street at night. It's very wild at times, but it's good, it's good atmosphere in the place. And like I said, you just have to be a wee bit careful with people trying to grab at you quite a lot. But Vietnam, yeah, 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend you to go there.